Then we have retrocommissioning. Now, I used this graphic in Kuwait to teach at the University of Kuwait, and my loving co-partner that was teaching with me told the Kuwaitis this was a picture of my house. I have a problem with that because my roof is green, not red. Anyway, retrocommissioning. What is retrocommissioning? Retrocommissioning is commissioning on an existing building that has never been commissioned before. What is the biggest problem we have in the United States? New construction? Nope, that's not our problem. Existing is our problem. So what do we do about existing systems? We can go in, you as a building owner can call me up and say, I got this dog. It's killing me. I can't keep occupancy. I get complaints all the time. It's too hot. It's too cold. There's too much vibration. The toilets don't flush like they're supposed to. I'm sick and tired of having to send contractors over there who tell me there's nothing wrong. I want you to fix it because I'm losing my tail on this thing. That's a good reason for retrocommissioning, isn't it? Okay. Now, we'll talk about the difference in the team makeup between retrocommissioning and new commissioning here in just a second. The common opinion is what's the difference between an energy analyst or an energy audit and retrocommissioning? Well, an energy audit is observation, and retrocommissioning is observation and action. That's the common logic, okay? Does it make sense? Well, you got to look at it. The age and condition of the building and the equipment. His building has got some serious problems. We've already figured that out. So it's a good candidate. Is there known comfort problems? Yeah, we already talked about his phone calls. If you want to know about it, if he calls me up and says, I don't know, I heard about this retrocommissioning, and I've got a portfolio of a bunch of buildings. I don't have enough money to commission or retrocommission all the buildings, so you tell me which ones I should stick my money into. And that's a reasonable question, right? So what you do is you get with the facility management staff and you look at it and you say, okay, give me your calls, give me your maintenance failures, give me some history, and you start going through it. Known comfort problems. Utility costs, have any of them spiked? Lease agreements. Is somebody else responsible for the cost of improving this thing or balancing this thing? How much can you do? Okay. Potential return on investment, that's always a question, and availability of incentive programs. Any way to make it cheaper. Okay, the retrocommissioning process is a little different. You see where instead of construction and planning, it's investigation and implementation. That's one of the differences. Okay, ongoing commissioning. It's real simple. It's taking a commissioned building and keeping it that way. Do you know how fast it is to defeat a state-of-the-art system if you don't know what you're doing? We go in and we install a digital thermostat. Boy, this thing's calibrated. It's got it down where it even knows what phase the moon's in. NASA would be proud to have this thermostat as a launch object. But all you need is for my old man to go over and go, I don't need all this fancy stuff. Turns it off and hits fan on. 2 switches. Just defeated all this programming that I did. Ongoing commissioning is also to adjust for changes in need. John hires a new person, puts them into an office that was occupied by a person who just retired. That person had a low tolerance for cold, wanted their office hotter than normal. Now you get a new guy in there that likes it cold. I mean, this guy snowboards. You got to make adjustments, okay? Ongoing commissioning keeps the building green, high performance, and keeps it comfortable for the occupants and still maintaining the OPR. Okay, characteristics. It's not a snapshot like retrocommissioning and new building commissioning are snapshots. Ongoing commissioning is like having a continuous reading on all the performance of the building. It's dynamic and continuous. You use performance tracking strategies, and we've heard about that for the last couple of days. and usually uses facilities management staff, contractors, occupants, and others to keep us on target, keep us on track. Recommissioning. Okay, wait a minute. He just paid me to commission his building. What? Isn't that a one-time shot? Absolutely not. Is it time to recommission? If you can answer yes to any two of the following questions, then it's time to recommission. Is there an unjustified increase in energy use? Well, you know what? If he put 3 tanning beds in for his secretaries to use during their breaks, and the energy use went up, well, that's sort of justified. Now, what his wife thinks about the expense may be something else, but he can explain the spike in energy use. But if you don't know what it is, there might be something wrong. Time to get it retro-commissioned. Is it time? Is energy use more than 10% higher than in previous years? That's another bell ringer. Have comfort complaints increased compared to previous months or years? Has nighttime energy use increased? Is the building staff aware of problems but lacks the time or in-house expertise to fix them? Have they done some jerry-rigging? Sometimes they won't fess up to it. Sometimes the commissioning agent will get more honest answers than you will. Has control programming been modified or overridden to provide a quick fix to a problem? Classic example, the maintenance guy who gets yelled at by a tenured professor who wants to work on a project on Saturday when the system is set to shut down the environmental systems in his office building on weekends because it's closed on weekends. But he wants to come in and work. So what does the maintenance guy do? Overrides the system. That takes care of the complaint. Are there frequent equipment or component failures? Good question. Have there been significant tenant improvement projects? Even if you don't answer yes to 2 or more questions, recommission every 3 to 5 years. Things change. Things change. Why go to the expense? Well, there's a thing called performance gap. The difference between expected and actual performance of a building. There are companies that are suing certification programs because they received an award for their building supposed to perform at this level, and it turns out it's performing at this level. That is performance gap. We want to stay away from that. Now, what is the favorite radio station of building owners? WIIFM. Guaranteed. What's in it for me? Commissioning will reduce expenses and increase revenue through improved building operations. It will also decrease turnover. Guaranteed. It's documented.